decided that I'm going to change my entire life in 6 months, and I've also decided to document the entire journey. The next 6 months, they're for me. Not in a reinvent myself kind of way, but more of a like coming home to myself type of way. I've decided to document this journey, number one, because I feel like everything online is perfectly curated, but we don't actually see the messy behind the scenes. Number two, I'm neurodivergent AF, and documenting this journey is going to help me stay consistent with my goals, remember what they actually are, and stay accountable for the next 6 months. A little bit about me before we get deeper into this video and deeper into this journey together. My name is Rachel. Hi, if you're new here, and if you are a returning watcher, thanks so much for being here. I love you guys. One of my biggest fears in life is that someday I'm just going to have this massive epiphany realization moment that I never actually lived my life for me, that I made everyone else a priority besides myself. I am actually terrified that the little girl version of me will never get to experience her dreams, and that she'll be disappointed in life because she had to constantly survive life instead of actually living it. I know it's kind of deep and a little bit sad if you think about it. But I've spent most of my life being the one that shows up for everyone else. Oldest daughter, natural caregiver, wife, mom, the one who has it all handled even when I don't. And I love that about me in some ways. I love how fiercely I care and how much I genuinely love people, but I recently realized that the life that I'm building looks really good on paper, but it doesn't always feel like mine or feel like the life that I have always dreamt of. And it's weird because lately I just keep hearing this inner monologue, the 8-year-old version of me, the girl who used to write stories, recognize the magic within everyday life, and genuinely believed that anything was possible. And lately that little 8-year-old version of me has been asking, when is it our turn? So this journey, this 6 months to changing my life, it's me finally choosing her, choosing me. I literally can't even look at the camera while I say that. That's how you know it's probably something I need to work on. I'm giving myself 6 months to intentionally reset, to build systems that support my dream life, to show up for myself and to show up differently, and to feel proud of myself and what I'm creating in my own life, rather than just feeling productive because I've taken care of everyone around me. For most of my life, I've done what I was supposed to do. I served in the military, I got married, bought a house, had a baby. I took care of people. I held it all together even when it felt like I was falling apart inside. And now, as a disabled veteran, I live with OCD, ADHD, anxiety, and POTS, which means that some days just existing takes everything I've got. Having a chronic illness means that my body requires presence and patience and rest to the point that I used to resent that about myself. I'm finally learning to respect my body's needs and also not holding myself to the expectation of someone who does not have a disability and is not chronically ill. That's been really hard for me. As an eldest daughter and a Virgo, a perfectionist, I constantly think that my brain can outthink my body's needs. That's been rough. I've spent many years masking, adapting, and just pushing through. I definitely know how to survive, but I've never really learned how to live, how to feel safe, how to be soft or supported just by being myself. And it's really ironic because I feel way more comfortable taking care of others rather than taking care of myself. Being soft, being safe, being supportive, those are all things that come so naturally to me as a mother to my daughter, but when it comes to me giving that to myself, it literally feels like pulling teeth. But now I'm at a point in my life where I just keep asking, what would happen if I stopped just surviving and I started living on my own terms? Listening to my body, listening to my mental health, listening to the needs that I have, and going forward in life. What if I allowed myself to rest, to dream again, to go after the soft, creative life that I've always dreamt of and wanted since I was 8 years old? That's what these next 6 months are about. Not fixing myself, not forcing anything, just finally choosing me. And while it's really exciting to think about doing this, it's also actually terrifying. My OCD keeps telling me that living out my dreams and putting my dreams first is selfish, that my dreams need to come last, that I should be focused on everybody else's needs before my own, especially because I have an 8-year-old. And as a mom, sometimes it feels like there's this pressure to make motherhood my entire identity. Like I'm not allowed to have my own. But the truth is, I am ready to choose me, live my life to the fullest, to dream big and to pursue those dreams. Not even just make vision boards and write it down on my journal and talk about it with my friends, but actually take action steps towards those dreams. And my plan of action for the next 6 months is to break this down into 4 core pillars. That way it doesn't get too overwhelming or too complicated, because as an ADHD girly, anytime that I feel overwhelmed, I typically go into frozen mode, and we do not want to do that. We've been doing that. We're done doing that. The 4 core pillars that I'm going to be focusing on for the next 6 months are physical health, career, home life, and inner self. These are the 4 pieces that I am wanting to focus on and recommit to. In my mind, these are the biggest things that can change everything, not just externally, but also internally. The vision that I have for us going on this journey for the next 6 months together is that I will break down each pillar into mini episodes or mini chapters. We'll be diving deeper into each pillar within those. Think of it like behind the scenes updates, vlogs, cozy sit down chats like this, and honest reflections as I move through this life transition in real time. At least that's what I'm thinking, but we'll kind of see as we get going. First up, we're going to be diving deeper into health. My motto for health is really just about becoming stronger and feeling more solid within my physical body. Honestly, health is a little bit complicated for me because I have autoimmune disorders, I am neurodivergent, I'm allergic to half of the foods that influencers say that I should be eating because I have a latex food allergy and a plant protein food allergy, so many allergies, and I just so happen to have the energy of a raccoon that decided to drink a Red Bull at midnight. What could go wrong? I've kind of had to unlearn everything that I thought was healthy and instead ask myself what kind of feels best for me moment to moment. This is not about getting skinny or doing 75 hard or anything like that. It's really more about me honoring my body, listening to my body, feeling safe within it, strong in it, supported by it, solid in it, feeling good in my body as it is, and not wishing that it was different. It's a lot about acceptance with the physical health for me. With that being said, my health goals for the next 6 months might seem a little lofty, and going into this, it's really important to be open to pivoting for me, especially as someone with OCD, because if I set too high of expectations, I can crash and burn pretty quickly. So I'm going into this being very open and being able to pivot. My health goals for the next 6 months are move my body 3 times a week for at least 10 minutes in whatever feels good for me, even if it's just going for a walk or doing a stretching yoga on YouTube, anything that feels good to me in the moment and is also movement. I would like to lose around 10-15 pounds just so that I feel healthier within my body and that I like the way that my clothes fit me more, so that I'm not getting as overstimulated, because when my clothes are tight, I can't handle it. I hate that feeling. I definitely want to drink more water than I'm drinking caffeine. That's been a hard thing lately, so definitely try to help me be accountable for that. I also would love to build like a 5-minute wind down routine at the end of the night. No phone the first hour of waking up and no phone the last hour before I go to bed. I've noticed I'm getting very obsessive over notifications and analytics, and that is a slippery slope for an OCD girly. I want to make sure that I'm taking my meds, I'm eating at least 3 meals a day, because my version of ADHD is I forget to eat for like 20 hours at a time, and then I'll start feeling horrible and my POTS symptoms will get flared up, and then I'm curious why that's happening, and I realize, oh, I haven't ate a fucking thing today. I want to stop pretending that my body doesn't have human needs, and also accept the fact that I feel better and my body feels better when I have a solid routine in place. I also think it'd be fun to schedule an appointment with a holistic doctor, have some labs drawn, and just see what they have to say. I would also like to create a consistent-ish bedtime. Last thing on my physical health goal for the next 6 months, manage my POTS symptoms and get into an appointment with a specialist. I have been on a waiting list to see a specialist in DFW. I've been on the referral list for like almost a year. See if I can get in with them before we move, and if not, I need to go see a specialist because I need to figure out how to manage all of this. I have been having really bad tic attacks and Tourette's with my OCD and tics with my OCD. Anytime that I get super stressed out and my OCD flares, I have been having tic attacks and tics constantly that last about 3 days, which is something that is totally new, and it is extremely scary for someone who has not experienced that before in life. So I would also like to manage my stress a little bit better, maybe get back into meditation and yoga, really understand as much as possible what's going on with my body when I have these tic attacks. For my career goals, this is going to be lofty because, I mean, what else would you expect from a Virgo eldest daughter perfectionist? I want to be able to believe that I am allowed to want my dreams, and not just in 30 years, but now. Because as I talk about my career and the dreams and aspirations that I have, I definitely visualize this older version of Rachel, like in her 60s and 70s, running this bookstore. She's lived out all of her dreams. She has like 7 or 8 books that she's published that have done really well. It's so vivid for that age, Rachel, but why not now? Why not Rachel in her 30s? I want to believe that I'm allowed to want what I want now and not in 30 years when everyone else is taken care of and everyone else is settled when it's more convenient for everybody else. I am 32 years old and I'm about to change my entire life again. We're moving our family across the country so that I can open a romance bookshop in my hometown. This has been a huge dream of mine for years. I'd love to sit here and say that it feels super exhilarating and exciting and I'm not afraid at all, but I am actually terrified because part of me still believes that this is a selfish thing to do, that my dream should come last and that my personality should begin and end with my daughter's needs, that my partner's goals matter more than mine, that caretaking is literally my identity, and dreaming is indulgent of me. My OCD definitely latches onto that, telling me things like, what you want doesn't matter. You should be supporting everyone else's dreams, not chasing your own. You're a mom. You're supposed to sacrifice and give up on your dreams. To be honest, really what's underneath all of that is just fear. Fear that I'll fail. Fear that the people that I love will leave me if I'm not putting them first. Fear that I'm not strong enough. Fear that the life that I want to live is way too big, impossible, and too dreamy for someone like me. But the truth is, I've never wanted anything more in my entire life. Not just to open a bookshop, but to finally step into the life that I have dreamt of, to finally live for me. It's like a reclamation, a revolution, a soft middle finger to all of the people and the systems that taught me that my dreams were optional and everybody else's were non-negotiable. It's kind of my way of saying I get to be more than just a survivor. I've lived through the survivor identity for so long and I'm done. And don't tell anyone this because I'm super scared to actually admit this online, but I have always dreamt of becoming an author for as long as I can remember. I remember being 6 years old dreaming of being a writer someday. I want to write books. I want to tell stories. I want to be seen in a way that doesn't make me want to hide. I truly believe that opening this bookshop, creating a safe space for other people to share their stories, will actually give me the confidence to believe in my own stories and my ability to write as well. So after that super mushy-gushy talk, my goals for my career are launch my Kickstarter campaign for the bookshop by September in order to fundraise money for the opening, even if that terrifies me. Asking for help is hard. I also want to build the bookshop community up even more before we even open the doors. That way, when we do open the doors, we just get to have like this beautiful event and experience where we all get to see each other other in person, but it feels like we've been besties forever. I really want to consistently document the entire journey, the messiness, the sadness, the ups, the downs, the excitement, the fear. I want to let myself be visible even if I'm terrified, which I am. I also really want to trust that every step that I take is the right way forward, and it's also a step forward to becoming an author and pursuing my dream of being a writer. Some of my more tangible goals for my career is to get monetized on YouTube, have more opportunities for PR with brands, and maybe even get invited to bookish or media related events, which seems actually insane to even say out loud. But most importantly, I just want to show up daily for myself, for my dream, for my community, and say yes to opportunities that support me and fully step into the identity of an author, creator, and bookshop owner. That is me, and I'm living in the moment of hitting these milestones, and I'm not just constantly going to, okay, what's the next milestone? Moving on to my home life. This part of my 6-month reset is a lot bigger than just organization and home decor. It's about moving my family and our 3 pets across the country, not just for the bookshop, but for a life that feels like home in the deepest sense of the word. We have taken some action steps towards this goal because we had to. Right now, we are deciding whether we want to rent or sell our house. I'm so sad about leaving this house. It is my dream home, and I keep just kind of having to tell myself, like, you can find another dream home in Michigan when you're ready. We are focusing on downsizing. We're going through our stuff to see what we want to keep and what we want to donate, and we're just essentially starting over. But we did find a house in Michigan in the town that we wanted to. The deeper and deeper that I get into this move and checking things off of our moving list, the more that I really believe that this is what's best for our family at this time. Because one of the biggest reasons why we're moving back home is for our family. I have a massive family in Michigan, and I want them to be more involved in Steele's life. I want Steele to grow up in the same way that I was raised. I want her to be around the people that love her unconditionally and genuinely like spending time with her. I want her to have the community and the people that I had, the ones who always have her back and who show up for her no matter what. I had so many cousins growing up, and we were constantly getting into trouble and doing the most outrageous things, but also we had so much fun and we learned so much from each other, and I want that for Steele. I want holidays that feel magical to her, birthday parties where there's at least 50 people showing up instead of 3, family dinners, inside jokes, and just a community that's so deep it becomes a part of who she is. I want her to feel like she's a part of something bigger than herself. And honestly, I want to feel that again as well. And this may seem silly, but I want a yard for our dogs to frolic in and get zoomies in because they truly deserve that joy. I know all of our black lab will go crazy doing zoomies in a big yard. I want a cozy home with a chair by a fireplace and a window where I can just settle in every night and read my book. And honestly, being back in Michigan just feels good. Steele and I spent 2.5 months there this summer. The air, the trees, the slowness, even my POTS symptoms are so much more manageable in Michigan because of the temperature and the weather. My nervous system is 1,000,000% calmer. My body feels more supported, and I just feel like I can breathe better. Like, I feel more free. We'll probably start small. We've been thinking about maybe even building a tiny home after we're done with our rental, which is only 8 months long. The biggest thing that I really want to think about is future Rachel, future Steele. I want to build generational wealth for my daughter so that she doesn't have to struggle. My home goals for the next 6 months are decide whether to sell or rent our current home in Texas, downsize with intention, only taking what we absolutely love and what we absolutely need. We have to travel across country and get myself, my husband, my daughter, and our 3 pets to our new rental home and settled. I want to prioritize peace, space, and community once we get there. I don't even know who my next door neighbors are here, and we've lived in this suburb for almost 3 years. I don't want to repeat that. Even if we're renting a house for 8 months, I want to know my neighbors. If we need to start small, that's okay. We can rent, and then we can go to a tiny home and eventually find or build our absolute dream home. And the last but far from least category is my inner self, or self in general. This honestly might be the hardest part of this entire 6-month journey for me. Not because I don't know what I want, but because I've spent most of my life convincing myself I wasn't allowed to want anything at all. I've spent years putting everybody else's needs first, years trying to be useful, agreeable, productive, and strong, years of thinking that caretaking made me worthy of the things that I desired in life, and that dreaming made me selfish. Even now, as I chase something I know wholeheartedly that I want, the voice in my head still has some outdated programming. Things like, you're too much, you're just too sensitive, you're not stable enough, you can't be consistent, you should be more grateful and just be content with what you have. And obviously that voice comes from a long line of stories and belief systems that I did not ask for, from OCD, trauma, abandonment, and every time I was told I was too emotional, too sensitive, too ambitious, too much, too me. But I'm done believing that shit. Done shrinking myself in order to survive. This is the season where I choose myself on purpose, because I'm allowed to want more in life, because 8-year-old me is still inside of me waiting to be chosen, because my daughter needs to see that her mom is a whole person who also goes towards her dreams and believes that she can do anything. If I'm teaching her to believe that about herself, but I don't believe it about me, that's not really fair. And this time I'm not just choosing the polished parts of me, the high-functioning, palatable, productive version. I'm choosing all of me. The loud, messy, chaotic, silly, neurospicy, fun parts of me. The parts of me that stim, that spiral, that tick. The parts of me that need rest, that need softness, that need care. I'm learning to accept the things that make me different, not hide them. And I'm learning that it's okay to share all of me with my community, with the people that I love, and with the world that I'm building around me. Being fully seen is really freaking scary, but it's also the only way to truly be loved. Maybe if I can show up honestly, flaws, spirals, ticks, magic, all of it, it'll give someone else permission to do the same. That kind of empowerment, that kind of community, that's the legacy I want to leave in the world. That's the version of me I want my daughter to remember. This part of the 6-month journey is not about becoming someone else. It's about finally coming home to who I've always been and letting her lead this time. My self goals for the next 6 months are to rebuild my relationship with creativity, not because there is something to gain from it, just letting myself be creative because I just want to be creative. I also would like to create space every day to do something that makes me feel alive, even if it's just for 5 minutes. I want to practice resting as a self-love response instead of avoidance or frozen mode. I want to say yes to the things that light me up and no to the things that don't without over-explaining myself. I want to let myself be fully seen, messy, magical, and real. Share my journey, my content, and my big dreams. I want to learn to talk to myself like someone I'm building a relationship with, not someone I'm trying to fix in therapy. I also really want to prioritize sharing more openly about the struggles that I have been going through lately with my anxiety, tic attacks, OCD, and my overall mental health journey. Lead with my full humanity first and foremost, because at the end of the day, that's how we build connection. So that's the plan. 6 months of showing up for me. Will it be perfect? No. Will I mess up? Absolutely. But it's my turn to show up for myself the way that I have shown up for everyone else my entire life. I'm going to trust that my dreams are worth putting in the effort, and I'm really excited to see how the next 6 months are gonna go. Hopefully life will look totally different in the best way. I hope you stick around for the journey. I hope I didn't freak you out with my mushy gushiness. And if you're feeling like it's time to make a change, we could do this together. Anyways, I hope you have a great day. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.